Thank you everyone for being here tonight. My name is Abdurrashid Ahmed. I am a proud resident of St. Paul for 9 years. I'm also the chairperson on the board of directors for Somali American Youth Enrichment Club, SAYC. I am co-organizing this event tonight with the founder and executive director of the club, Mr. Abdurrazak Saeed. A little bit about SAYC. SAYC is a non-profit organization that's working profoundly hard and long for the youths in our program. Although we're mainly known for soccer, in fact, 3 out of 4 of our teams have made it to the Minnesota Youth Soccer Association Summer State Championship, almost winning 2 of them. We also tutor youth with math, reading, writing, as well as providing opportunities for community service and volunteering. And now, well, we're hosting you, the voters and the candidates for the mayor of St. Paul. Why are we doing this, you might ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in an unusual time. I've been here 16 years and I'm seeing things that I've never seen before. And so we figured voting is also very, very important. We like the people in this gym and people all over St. Paul to exercise the inherent power in their votes. Remember that famous quote from Mahatma Gandhi? Be the change you would like to see in the world. Well, how about this tonight? Be the vote you want to see in your city, your state, and your country. Let me be clear. We are not telling you who to vote tonight. That's their job to convince you. We do, however, want you to know where they stand on important issues so you can make an informed choice. And vote. And vote. I'd like to thank Duxie Academy for allowing us to hold the event here tonight and give these voters the opportunity to learn from their candidates, from these candidates. Because guess what? The chances are one of these wonderful people may be our mayor for at least the next 4 years. Okay, we have a great event planned for you tonight. Thank you to the candidates who joined us tonight. We know your time is precious, especially in the last weeks of a hard-fought campaign. As such, we will be sensitive to your time. The food took a little bit of time, but that's all right. And with that, I would like to remind you that when we vote in November the 7th, St. Paul will be using ranked choice voting to determine who will be our next mayor. Heather Kleinworth from Fair Vote Choice is here to spend a few minutes to talk with us about ranked choice voting. Please welcome Heather.
Ranked choice voting is a system where instead of just choosing one mayor candidate to vote for, you get to rank up to 6. And it is likely that no one will win on first choices alone, so it's always in your very best interest to pick a first choice, second choice, third choice, all the way up to 6. So what does that mean? It means that what we do is we count up all of the first choices and we see where they land. If no one has a true majority of 50%, we drop the lowest vote getting candidate and we redistribute the second choices. So what that means for you is that if you want your vote to live on, it is important to rank and put a second choice.
Now, to explain the rules of the forum and get us started tonight, allow me to introduce our moderators. Ismail Saeed, that guy right there, is a junior at Oxford College studying pre-med. He's also a Minnesota Youth Soccer Association's coach. He is an aspiring leader in our community. Salma, to his left, is also a junior at the U, a fellow golfer, I may add. studying political science and aspires to be a lawyer one day. She is, no doubt, an impressive leader. Both of these candidates are smart, fair, and fierce. We are very happy that you guys are able to join us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen,
I want to thank the candidates for agreeing to participate in today's mayoral candidate forum, and I'd also like to thank all the community members who could join us tonight and be here today. In a few moments, you will get the opportunity to meet our candidates.
To determine the order of the candidates' opening statements, we decided to begin with alphabetical order. So first we'll start with Melvin Carter, Elizabeth, Tom, Tim, and Daital. So first, Melvin Carter will give us his 2 minutes of opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Melvin Carter, and I'm running for mayor here in St. Paul. I'm really pleased by the opportunity to share the evening with you and appreciate you all being here. My family's been in St. Paul for 4 generations. My great-grandparents came here fleeing racial violence and racial oppression in the Deep South as domestic refugees. Our family's been here for 4 generations. My grandparents were some of those Rondo family, if you know the story of when I-94 came through and uprooted our historic African-American community. My grandparents lost 7 commercial properties on Old Rondo. My father has served this community as a public servant, as a police officer, and my mother as a teacher who's now a county commissioner in this community. I grew up in St. Paul schools, in our rec centers, in our libraries. I grew up as someone who knew what it felt like to sit in our schools and to be pulled over for driving while black. I'm running for mayor because we're in a city where a child born today, their life outcomes can be better predicted by her race, her zip code, and her parents' education than by how smart she is and how hard she works. That's not acceptable, and that's not okay. We have to build a city that works well for everybody. To me, that starts with building schools like this one that serve all of our families really, really well. That starts with making sure that our local economy works well for all of our families. That starts, to me, with raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, so no one who works full-time is ever stuck living in poverty. And we know that means making sure that all of our communities can be very well served and can count on the top quality city services we can provide, from the way we plow snow when it snows to the way we police in our neighborhoods. Policing is a very important thing to me as a part of how we do city building, and it's something I think we need to completely change to make sure that every person in our community knows that they can count on being protected and served by our officers and never policed. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Elizabeth Dickinson, and I'm the Green Party candidate for mayor. I've been endorsed by Sierra Club, Clean Water Action, Women Winning, and the Green Party. So from that, you would probably understand that I have a big concern for energy and the environment, because I'd like to prioritize that, because as they like to say, there is no planet B. So one of the things I'd like to do is to put solar on the schools and see if we can get more of the solar and wind industry, the installers and manufacturers here to town, because that whole industry is growing 12 times faster than any other, and that kind of industry brings jobs here. So I'd like to work with the St. Paul Port Authority to see if we can get some more of that industry here, particularly on the east side. I'm also a big proponent of the 15 Now, which is raising the minimum wage to $15 over the next 4 to 7 years with protection for small businesses. Because when I think about the people who would be most affected, often those include people of color, and especially moms with kids. There are a lot of single moms with kids trying to make it on the minimum wage, and it doesn't work. And so that's why I think we need to raise it. And I also stand for transparent, responsive, innovative, accessible, and diverse government. And what that means to me is working more closely with folks like you, with the City Council and the Community Council, to make sure everyone's voice is heard and that the things that you want are actually reflected in what the city does. And thank you for listening.
I'm Tom Goldstein. I'm not a native of Minnesota. Came out here to college about 40 years ago, and liked it and stayed. I really liked the food out there, so I was tempted to stay out there rather than come in here. Delicious food. Thank you, Afro Deli. So, you know, whenever I'm in an audience like this, I'm reminded that we are all a nation. We are a nation of immigrants and refugees. I am descended from people that fled the pogroms in Russia in the 1880s, fled here, and as a union member representing workers at the Twin City hospitals, heard many of the stories of people, Somalis and Ethiopians fleeing, and Eritreans, of the hardship and what they faced coming to this country. And while I personally have not had that experience, I certainly understand that I could easily have been in that same situation as my great-grandparents were when they came to this country. And what concerns me about St. Paul is that we're not providing equal opportunity for everybody that is within our city. Our focus seems to be on building a lot of projects, on funding the needs of millionaires and billionaires, rather than investing in things like park and rec centers, after-school programming, job creation, broadband accessible to everyone, making sure there are job opportunities and loan funds for people, particularly in this community and other communities, looking to start a business or finding a path forward. So we need to change how we do business in St. Paul, and it needs to be a city that really is a city that works for everyone, which means that resources are shared and that we're not pitting one community over another for scraps, while if you have the money to build some really fancy facility, we always seem to have the money for that. So my campaign is about changing the priorities. That's been the history of what I've done for the last 20 years. You can read about my accomplishments on my lit piece, and of course I'll talk further about that this evening. Thanks for the chance to be here.
Thank you. My name is Tim Holden. As a candidate, I'm probably one of the few up on the panel that have been self-employed for 25 years. I have a business background, and my background is working with people on a daily basis to try and improve our situation, improve our cash flow, and work with a very, very different population that we have. St. Paul, we have such a diverse background. We need to have a person on our team that can communicate in the different languages and in the different backgrounds that we have. I'm not really familiar with the Somali background. I'm going to be honest. I need to learn. The only way I can learn is to sit and listen to you. And that's what it's all about. We need to do more as politicians listening than we do talking. If we did that, we'd have a better country. People need to appreciate one another and give each other the opportunity to talk and listen to them. And I think that's very important. Thank you for coming this evening. I might not have all the answers to your questions, but I'm going to give you my best shot, and I'm here to work on your behalf. If I'm elected mayor, I'm going to give everybody the opportunity that they deserve. Thank you.
My name is Councilmember Daitao. I'm an IT professional by trade and community organizer by passion. My family and I came here as political refugee. My father and his 5 brothers fought on behalf of the United States. During our exile, I lost 2 sisters and a younger brother. I thought that America would be paradise, but when we came to this country, white people, black people call me chink, gook, to go back to my country. It was very painful, but I could take all of that. But then when I see other immigrants get taught or bullied at school, I went to protect them. I don't want to squander this opportunity that America has given me. As your mayor, I want to protect all the people. I want to promote equity so that we all get our fair share. This is your home. This is your country too. I want to thank you for choosing St. Paul as your home. Thank you for your arts, your culture, your business. You are what made America great, and I really appreciate you. When Trump said he was going to ban Muslim and build a wall, I wrote a resolution to ban Trump from coming to St. Paul, because I know what it's like when people targeted me when I was a kid. And then when he did the restriction travel ban, I directed the city attorney and the Human Rights Department to work with all Somali Oromo family who are stuck at the airport. I worked on affordable housing to make sure the Titanic, $12 million to fix the Titanic. I also worked on the soccer stadium. because one day I want to have Somali and Oromo player to play on the Minnesota United team, because it's an international sports. As mayor, I will fight for small business. I will make sure that you have a place at the table. Your story and my story is one story. Your community is my community. I'll fight for you. My name is Daitao. I'd love to have your support.